4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
This is KBCC 89.5 FM, Tracy, California, Peace and Justice Network of San Joaquin.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS The Voice of Stockton or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
San Joaquin, and welcome to an edition of Tales and Tips. I am so excited to have with me today Escalon FFA teenagers who are going to talk about everything with FFA and all the amazing things that they are doing, and we're going to learn a little bit about the history of FFA. First, I want to introduce Kenny, who is their teacher for Ag and Mechanics. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Kenny Saephan. I am the Ag Mechanics and Welding Instructor at Escalon FFA.
Awesome. And let's talk a little bit, before we get to talk to our excited participants, let's talk a little bit about the history of FFA. How long has FFA existed? How long has it existed in Escalon? And why is this important for the community?
FFA as a national organization has existed since 1928. I'm not sure how long the local chapter has existed, but I know for many of my students, their parents and their grandparents were members of the local chapter.
Wonderful. So multiple generations.
Yep.
And how would you say over that time period that FFA has changed? What activities are you doing now that might be different from when their grandparents were there?
Well, for instance, let's talk about the name FFA. FFA stands for Future Farmers of America, or at least it used to. Starting out, it was an agricultural leadership organization, and now, while it's still agriculture is still an emphasis of it, a big part of it is now leadership, right? So they changed the title of the organization a couple years ago to just be FFA.
Wonderful. Excellent. So let's talk about each of our students, and I'm going to start with you, Scott. Tell us, what grade are you in, what school are you going to, and why did you want to be a part of FFA?
So my name is Scott Terpstra. I am currently a senior and I graduate in May. I go to Escalon High School. Thank you. I really joined FFA because, well, not directly involved in agriculture. A lot of my extended family is. For example, my Aunt Jennifer Terpstra, she is a local sheep breeder. And I also have lots of family that farm various types of nuts in Modesto and the Escalon and some surrounding areas. And so, you know, agricultural has always been, you know, a part of my life, and I chose it because it was not only a subject of familiarity to me, but I also wanted to, you know, increase my leadership skills and become something that was more than myself.
Beautiful. Very well stated. Excellent. All right. Trenton, let's go next to you. How long have you been in FFA? What grade are you in? And why do you want to be a part of FFA?
So I have been in FFA for all 4 years. I am currently a senior as well. And I am planning on going to MJC and majoring in ag business.
Yay. Awesome.
FFA is just, it's a big organization. And to me, I joined FFA because I wanted to get, the same as Scott, more leadership opportunities. I raised dairy goats with my grandmother. So kind
Wonderful.
of something that was not really that new to me. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. How about for you?
So I'm Megan Rocha. I'm currently a senior at Escalon High School. In the
Go
fall,
Cougars.
Yes, go Cougars. In the fall, I'll be attending Delta Community College to become a math major. And really, I started off with FFA from when I was little in 4-H because agriculture has always been a big part of my family.
Wow, long
And,
time. Lots of years in FFA. Great.
Yeah. And my dad was a part of this chapter, so I really just wanted to continue that legacy of the Rocha name, I guess.
Beautiful. Awesome.
I'm Alayna Azevedo. I'm a sophomore at Escalon High, so this is only my second year, but I do plan on continuing through the FFA all 4 years. And I really joined FFA because I knew all of the leadership opportunities that were in it, and we used to live on a dairy, and I've just always been involved in the agriculture. And like Megan, I was in 4-H, and I've shown dairy cattle.
Great. Wonderful. And let's stick with you. So during the time that you've been in FFA, why don't you share with us one or two activities that have meant the most to you?
Some activities that have meant the most to me are the leadership competitions, such as opening, closing. That one really helps me just to like go and talk in front of people with like memorizing a part in my head. and just being able to comfortably speak about it. That one has really impacted me. And a CDE team a career development event that just helps me with, I do livestock evaluation. So I go in there and I get to judge animals, not only just marking a card, but I get to talk to people and I get to explain why I placed the class to professional breeders and people that know what they're talking about. And so just being able to really explain myself to them and talk to them and really just have a conversation and kind of a sales pitch to them, it really has helped me a lot. So.
Awesome. And all of you, I'm really impressed. So far, you're all very confident. And I'm excited because you all have direction of where you want to go. And I don't know how much of those skills FFA has contributed, but so far I'm very impressed. Let's go to you now. Same question. What are 1 or 2 activities that have really meant the most to you?
Just like Alayna, the LDE contest or the leadership development experiences, like prepared public speaking, which is where you have to write a research paper and memorize a speech about your topic, has really just grown me into a better public speaker, and overall has really just grown me as a person as well. And talking about judging teams, I am on agronomy, which is a study of weeds and seeds. And you really just get to learn how to interact in a business environment. You get to learn how to judge seed, and you learn how to interact with some people who are in that business. And that's really just a quality that I think that I can take on through, my after high school.
Great. And you guys may not realize it, or you may have been told that public speaking is usually the #1 fear that people have. And look at how you have already conquered this at this young age, and you're just set in a path. It's wonderful. Go ahead, Trenton, for you, 1 or 2 favorite activities.
So recently this year I attended our national FFA convention in Indianapolis, and for me that was just an experience of its own, getting to meet with some of the 700,000 members from across the United States and getting to hear their stories and find what makes them unique was really just an amazing experience. Another thing is talking about judging teams. I compete on floral, and so getting to go in there and be as creative as possible and just wow the judges is really just something that's awesome.
Great. And for you?
Well, pretty much every FFA activity I enjoy doing because, it's something where I can be, more than myself. I can give back to my community. So I do enjoy all the leadership events, LEDE speaking competition. I did win the sectional competition for the LDE extemporaneous speaking. You don't really know what you're talking about. You try to prepare the best you can. They give you a topic when you get there. You get 30 minutes, and then you give your speech.
And you're thinking fast on your feet.
Yeah,
awesome.
And so another part of it that I really enjoy is the community service, because we live in a small town, Escalon, only about 7,000 people. So it's kind of a everybody knows everybody community. So when we do these community service projects, whether it be, the Thanksgiving meal drive that we do, or the Valentine's for the elderly, the local elderly care facility, or the Easter basket preparation, even the letters to veterans that we give them after the Associated Student Body holds their Veterans Day rally, you can see just the enjoyment that the community gets, seeing that these kids are, willing and motivated to give back to their community. It's just inspiring how much the community, embraces this program and how much they've given back to us for, serving them as community service members.
Awesome. And I want to talk more about all of those activities, but let's back up just a minute. Question and how would you like me, do you want me to say, Kenny, is that okay?
Kenny's fine.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about, it sounds like the students can be a part of FFA all through their whole 4 years of high school. What are some of the requirements? What does it take for a student to be able to become a member of FFA? How many activities do they need to participate in? What are the requirements? And do they have to maintain a certain GPA to be a part of FFA?
That's a great question. To be a part of FFA, just to be part of the organization, all you have to do at our school is sign up for a class. If you're taking an agriculture class, whether it's agricultural mechanics, welding, or agricultural or science or biology or chemistry or animal science or vet science, as long as you're in an agriculturally related class, you are a member of the FFA.
Beautiful.
We do require that students attend 2 activities per semester as part of their grade. Activities can include going to meetings, helping with community service events, competing in contests, etc. As far as GPA requirements, we do have GPA requirements just like any sports team has for students who want to participate in after-school activities and for weekend competitions. For example, we're going to take a group of students to Fresno next weekend and competing in probably seven or eight CDE teams. We'll have probably 40 students, almost 40 students in Fresno. All the students have to have a 2.5 GPA. They have to be active members and have no prior discipline issues.
Okay, and just a couple more questions for you. How many students, how many Cougars are part of FFA?
We have just over 300 students part of FFA. There are probably about 800 students in the high school in total, so we have a little over a third of the students.
Wonderful, excellent. Yes. And what about fees? So are there fees to belong to FFA? Who's paying for the awesome jackets and uniforms that you have, and also the events when you travel?
Yeah.
What fees pay for that?
There is a membership fee to be part of FFA. We pay for that. Our local chapter group does. We fundraise to help pay for things like that, and we also get grant money.
Wonderful.
As far as jackets, we donate jackets to students every year. We donate 3 or 4 jackets, and every now and then we'll have outside community members who are willing to pay the money to donate additional jackets. For most of our students who can afford it, they would rather pay for their own jacket.
Okay.
As far as fees for contests, students pay for all of their own fees for contests. We do fundraise to help pay for some of those fees. We have long bus drives, so we'll do a lot of fundraising activities to pay for charter buses. For example, we went to Chico a few weeks ago. That's about a 3-hour drive for us. We'll also be going to San Luis Obispo in a few more weeks, and that's going to be a long drive.
All right.
Yeah.
And for any of our viewers or listeners that might want to help support Escalon FFA, where can they make a donation? How do they access you guys?
Well, they can make a direct donation to Escalon High School and just earmark the donation as for Escalon FFA, or they can just participate. What we would prefer actually is if you participate in one of our community service events or our fundraising events. So we have a yearly drive-through barbecue. We have lots of fundraising events.
Yeah, Thanksgiving drives. We've had a lot of local community members and parents. They'll spend $50 or $60, bringing in a fully assembled meal. So it's not necessarily we'd like you to donate to our chapter, but we'd like to, in terms of donation, to where we could give even more back to the community. That's what we really value.
Wonderful. Awesome. All right. Excellent. And I know you have a Facebook page.
Yes.
Do you have a website as well?
We don't currently have a website. We just have a Escalon FFA Facebook page. Please like and share our page.
All right. Wonderful. All right, and let's go back to our students. So earlier, you had mentioned all of the different community activities, and it was wonderful. It was really heartwarming. Let's go through now and talk about, I'd like each of you to pick 1 or 2 community activities that is your favorite.
Well, my favorites are probably the Thanksgiving meal drive and the Valentine's for the elderly, because for me, being the president and being, very involved with, helping the committee chairs set that up and, orchestrating those events, those I feel are the 2 most heartwarming for me, because, the joy when a less fortunate family gets, a completely full assembled meal. And especially with the amount of donations we've been receiving, we have enough donations to even provide some families with, that may have like 7 or 8 kids in their family, including with the parents, 2 turkeys or 2 hams and a lot of stuff. And the joy on the faces of the elderly folks at the home when they get those Valentines, sometimes they're not as fortunate to get, a lot of visitors. And so when we visit them and, we bring the cards that are handmade by all the students to show that, the students really care about them, it puts a big old smile on their face, and that's what really makes my day.
Awesome. Excellent.
Could I add to that?
Of course.
Just to add on some details that Scott may have missed, we were lucky enough to feed about 9 or 10 families this last year at our Thanksgiving fundraising drive. Most of the families picked up their meals, but for some less fortunate families, we were even able to deliver the meals to their families.
Wow.
And the students did all of that work. All I did was drive them around. The kids picked up the food, handed them to the families, and there's nothing more heartwarming than having an appreciative family come out, give you a hug, say thank you.
You made their holiday. That's huge. I mean, what is the holiday season without a meal and food is love and being able to sit around the table together? They may not have a lot, but if you're providing that meal, you're giving them a holiday. It's awesome. All right. How about for you?
The Thanksgiving food drive was really something that stood out to me. Being able to take, as Mr. Saephan had said, those meals to the families that were not able to come pick them up. We had one family that had no clue that they were getting one, And so just to see her face and how, happy she was really something that touched my heart. Our letters to the veterans was really cool getting to see, because I'm part of ASB as well. So, setting up that rally and getting to see how happy the veterans were to get their letters, was really heartwarming.
Wonderful. And how about for you?
Every year after our light show on Main Street that we have in Escalon, the FFA donates our time to go clean up the park in Main Street, just to spiffy up our town. And it's really just something that it's definitely something that we love to do, because it's something that we can directly give back to our community, who is just so grateful and thankful for all the things that Escalon does for us and for FFA does for them. So the cleanup on Main is definitely something that I love participating in every year, because just the smile on people's faces as they're driving by while we're cleaning up, from the previous light show the day before, is just something that has always stuck with me through my years in the FFA.
Awesome. And how about for you?
One of my favorite community service events has been our donation for the animal shelter.
Oh,
our
awesome.
local animal shelter. And we get some questions on what the money goes towards. We give the money directly to the shelter, but most of the funds cover food for the animals. Some people are asking, are you paying to euthanize these animals? No, we're paying for their food, because it is costly to have all of those animals sitting there in the shelter for that long. And so we have little drives. We have them donate money to our Escalon animal shelter so that they can keep their... And we have some students go. It was like $400 that we ended up raising for
awesome. That's a lot of,
for that shelter.
That's a lot of food. That's great.
Yeah, so that one really helps with them over there. So just being able to touch a local business as well is really heartwarming for me.
Wonderful. And you're helping save lives. So we actually have a lot in common. I don't know if you guys are aware. I'm a local veterinarian in the county for over 22 years. And currently I do volunteer my time with Delta Humane Society. So I am working also, just like you guys are, to save animals, and I'm on the food bank, and we give out turkey boxes, and it's amazing. To me, every person can make a huge change in their community. It doesn't matter whether you're a student, it doesn't matter whether it's writing a card to someone. You can make a difference in someone's life, and it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot of knowledge, it just takes caring. And it's really exciting and encouraging to hear all of your motivation and your excitement and enthusiasm for being able to help others. It's wonderful. It's really rare in our society, and I really admire all of you. I'm excited that you're here today. Let's go back now, and we talked about how there's 300 students from your school that are in FFA. What would you tell the others that are not? How do we make a plea to them to be involved in FFA? Let's start with you.
Personally, I know people, my friends, that aren't exactly big supporters of the FFA, but just what I tell them is it's a great organization, and later in life when you're trying to give a business presentation at wherever you end up in your career, and you're a little stumped, I mean, you could have joined the FFA and you could have had those the career skills that do last a lifetime. I don't personally know that if they last a lifetime yet, but I just know
they'll last a lifetime.
Yeah,
they'll last a lifetime.
I just know that they'll stick with me, and also we could just explain to them like all of the good things that they're doing and hope that they believe us and listen to us and take that chance with us.
Great. And what's nice is this is a safe place for you to grow. You're not being paid to do this. Your bills aren't dependent on this, but you are getting the opportunity to feel some stress and bring out your best, as you said, and be better than you are. But it's in a safe environment. You have your friends with you, and everyone wants to see you succeed as well. How about for you?
I think one thing that we do to help kids know what the FFA is and to really join it is we had Ag Day. We have Ag Day every year for the 8th graders to come to from our local middle school. They come to the high school and they pretty much just get an in-depth presentation about what FFA really is. It's really amazing. We have presentations from all the judging teams, and we explain to them all the opportunities that they could have in our organization and how they can truly grow into leaders and into business people, and it's a really great day.
Yeah, we have 200 students that end up coming to that. Our Ag Day committee chair is me and Vivian Borba. She couldn't be out here today, but we help put the whole thing together, as well as our advisors who donate a lot of time to that event. I just want to go in a little bit more depth about that. We they come to our school and we try and convince them. We show them all of the good things that we do in the FFA, and we try and convince them to put an ag class on their on their class schedule for the following year when they're going to be in high school. And for a lot of them, it really does change their minds because they don't know what path they want to go to yet. They're just 8th graders, and they don't know if they want to be in ASB, FFA. Like there's just so many choices to go into at Escalon High, and that opportunity to convince them that FFA is just a really great environment with a lot of opportunities. That day means a lot to us.
Great. I love what you just said, that they don't know what path, they may not know what path they want to go to. They're just 8th graders. And I laughed a little bit because in college, a lot of people still don't know what they want to do. And it's true, you may change your mind several times, but if you can have a direction early on, I really think it makes a difference. For me, I was fortunate to have that. I knew I wanted to participate in veterinary medicine from the age of 6. And I just think it helps you to optimize your opportunities if you know what you want to do. And if FFA is helping you do that, that alone is worth all of your time and your effort. How about for you?
So one thing that I always tell my friends is the endless opportunities. You know, going into ag, and ag is one of the biggest fields there are, and there are just so many opportunities. I would have never known that I wanted to be a florist if I wouldn't have joined FFA and found the love in florals. So, you know, just there's so many different things, and I just think that people should really take advantage of that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, at FFA, I know I have friends all over the spectrum. Most of my friends, you know, are ag kids. I'm a lot of friends with a lot of the freshmen. I always, you know, joke around with them. And, you know, I've seen both sides of the spectrum. You know, my little brother, he is in FFA. I don't think he necessarily wants to take the agricultural route in life, but you know, to each his own. But I do encourage him to, you know, still participate, because those skills, even, you know, speaking, leadership skills, they'll help him know where he wants to go, and they'll help him with,
I'll help him get there.
Yeah, help him get there, help him with all, you know, interview skills, speaking skills, and, you know, going back to what you said, it helps you kind of align, I think, where you want to go. And, like, you know, for myself, going into freshman year, I was convinced that, you know, I wanted to be a nurse. And now, as a senior, having gone through the FFA and experiencing shop classes, I'm applying to be a heavy equipment technician through CAT. And so I have completely, FFA has like completely changed my view on the spectrum of everything. And so I believe that it does help you, you know, set up your future very well.
Wonderful. And the other thing that we haven't stated that I really like, the fact that you guys are in all different grade levels working together, it's kind of like a mentorship program, because for those of you that are seniors, you're helping the freshmen, and it gives them a place to belong and a place where they're welcome. And to me, that's great. To have a strong niche of people that are supporting you to achieve positive things is amazing. So that's really wonderful. Let's go back to you, Kenny. And let's talk about, so what are the ag classes? We've listed a couple, but let's talk about the whole gamut of what the ag classes are that are offered.
Well, at our high school, we offer 2 separate pathways. We offer the agricultural mechanics pathways, which includes ag mechanics 1, 2, and 3. 1 being an introductory class. This is the class you take as a freshman or even as a senior if you just want a little taste of everything. Teaches you how to be a handyman around your house, right? Fix a switch, fix a light bulb. Awesome. Tune up your engine on your lawnmower, fix the plumbing, you know, help your parents do whatever they need to get done.
Really practical.
Yeah. And then 2 is just an advanced level of that. They start working on larger engines. They do a lot more welding, a lot more woodworking, and more complicated electrical work. And then 3 is a fabrications class where they build projects that they're going to take to fair and hopefully try to sell. That encompasses all the things they've learned in 1 and 2. We also offer agricultural earth science, biology, and chemistry, taught by Ms. Lemontini. Those are all ADG courses, and they cover college requirements for sciences. All right, and they offer an agricultural viewpoint of those sciences. So they cover all the same material, but they tend to be more hands-on. We'll take kids out to the farm. We'll learn about biology from a practical standpoint with animals and plants. All right, and then we also offer an agricultural leadership class, which all of you are part of. Or
just me. And Scott.
And Scott, but could have been a part of. The agricultural leadership class is an elective course where the students, they put on all the events. And we run a lot of events. I should have brought a copy to show you. We have a giant calendar of events that we operate year-round. Summer, fall, winter, spring. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Kids do a ton. And that's just a small class that makes all those events go.
Well, in your Facebook page, you have posts going daily on the
Yes,
different activities.
pretty
so
daily.
That's awesome. We'll come back and talk about some of those events. Going back to when I was asking you earlier about students joining FFA, what if you have a student that has financial restrictions? Or is there a way to help them so they can still participate in FFA?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, going back to our CDE teams, our career development events, these are teams we take to colleges on weekends, and we compete against other students. Scott competes in milk quality, Trenton competes in floral, Megan competes in agronomy, and you compete in livestock judging. There is a fee associated with that. However, we allow students to fundraise for that. We have fundraising programs to help students pay for those events. For example, students can sell ad sales for our local banquet. Yeah, and help pay for.
I sold 3 ad sales, and I sold 4 ad sales for $25 each, and that paid for my entire year, the whole season for Livestock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, as far as jackets go, we offer many donated jackets. In fact, we sometimes have a problem where we have too many jackets and not enough students who are willing to apply for them or want them. We had 4 jackets that we wanted to donate this year, didn't have enough students to apply for them.
Wow.
So we have things to give. We have ways to help you. And if you want to show an animal at fair, at our AgFest, our San Joaquin County Fair, if you want to show an animal, we also can help you find a loan, a 0% interest loan for your animal. Have any of you ever taken a loan? Right. I've helped several students this year with loans for pigs because I'm the advisor for pigs and turkeys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what about when students then want to go on to college? All of you talked about a career path that you plan to follow. What about helping them apply for college, helping them get grants for college, scholarships?
Yeah, we offer scholarships through our chapter group and through our Ag Boosters. We also, as teachers, we believe students should figure out some kind of path, right? Whether it's college or going into the workforce. I've personally helped 3 students that I can know of apply for the Think Big program at Delta College.
Yay.
Trenton and Megan, we talk frequently with all of our students about what are their plans, right? And that's part of why we take them to these colleges to compete, so they can look at their programs, get an idea of where they want to go in life. Yeah.
And I'm glad that a couple of you have mentioned Delta College. I just want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine who's now passed on, Hazel Hill. She actually brought Holt Caterpillar to Delta College, and they have an ag program, and they're actually growing their ag program, which is exciting because, as all of you know, even though FFA isn't just ag is so much a part of our county, and we provide so much food for so many people beyond where we live. All right, well, let's go back. You were talking about fundraising activities and that you guys have activities every day. Let's highlight first some of the fundraising activities that you guys do, and I'll start with you.
So one of our more benefiting and like one of the first fundraisers that we have is cookie dough sales. Cookie dough. I don't know exactly how much we make, but I know that for $20 a tub, we have a lot of kids selling. That adds up really fast. And those sales, like, the community is just so eager to help out that, like,
awesome.
It's not a problem getting fundraising just because of how eager they know the benefit of our organization. So, like, when they understand what we do and all of the opportunities that we provide, it's so much easier to get community support.
Yeah, I think for the cookie dough fundraiser, I think the official numbers were near $4,000.
Wow.
Just in a couple weeks of, selling cookie dough. And, we had some really dedicated kids that sold, almost 100 tubs of it.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
We have serious community members that are, willing to donate large amounts and to support the kids.
That's awesome, and it sounds like you guys have a little competition going too with who can sell the most tubs.
We definitely encourage
cookie.
it. The teachers offer extra credit. They offer activity points for selling cookie dough because some kids they don't think anyone would buy it, so they don't bother. But we definitely do encourage every kid to sell.
Who is the top cookie dough seller this year?
It would be Dylan Dugo, right?
Jacob Dugo.
Jacob Dugo, yes.
All right.
He sold almost 100
tubs, yeah.
Wow,
He
shout
goes
out to
around
him.
80.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
Great.
That's awesome.
Great student.
And
Good
Emma
job.
Bracco sold like 40 tri-tip tickets, right?
Mhm.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just tell their parents, hey, they advertise this at work, okay? And then, like, they just go over there, and all their coworkers, they know the benefits. Some of their coworkers were in the FFA themselves, and once they hear about those fundraisers, they jump at the opportunity to help.
As we were coming in here, we had someone look at us and go, hey, I was in FFA.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Awesome. It does mean it has a legacy. All right. And then for you, how about a fundraising event that you enjoyed?
So one of the events that we do is just an officer-run event. So the three of us here are officers, and it's called You've Been Farmed. So we take out animals, put them on community members' lawns, and so they, it's just a cutout,
Cool.
and we give them.
Cutout.
It's a
Okay.
cutout. Yes, it's not a real animal.
It's a little easier if it's a cutout.
Yes. And so they have the chance to donate or send the animals to someone else's lawn. A lot of community members like to send it to someone else's lawn, so then we keep going. I think this was the first year where we did it. We extended it and did an extra 2 weeks. We brought in a lot of money. I don't really know the official numbers on that, but I know that came in really well this year.
That's like one of the first fundraisers earlier in the year that kind of happens, kind of September, October-ish, and I think it's one of the community's favorite events just because it's so vast and far-reaching throughout the community. We have these kids driving way out, Mariposa sometimes because they go really all over Escalon. And so, I think it's just the fun and the competition that it has. And, you place it on their lawn and you have to get out of there before they see you on their lawn. It kind of adds to the fun of it because, it's similar to being, like pranked, but in like a way that kind of helps. So they really enjoy it.
Very cool. And how about for you?
For me, the drive-through barbecue dinner that we do at the beginning of the year is definitely one of my favorite, personally, fundraisers that we do, not only because it's very good food, but because we kind of get to unify as a chapter to get something done. And we really love that, and being able to work as kind of like a business to get stuff done. It really just teaches kids that each part of the program, even though you're just boxing it, we are getting it all done. And getting to interact with people in our communities and them knowing that this is going towards people's CDE teams and this is going towards the things that we do. I know a lot of our program is paid for by these fundraisers. We have a very extensive floral program that is paid for by our floral subscriptions that we sell, and usually at different chapters you have to pay for them, but we are fortunate enough at Escalon High School to have enough fundraisers where those are paid for, and you really just get your own flowers to take home where you built in class, and you just really get to see those things, and it's amazing.
Awesome. And what about community sponsors? Are there any companies that help to sponsor FFA that you want to give a shout out to?
We have several community sponsors. We'll have several community sponsors for our banquet coming up here, our spring banquet. But we get frequent donations from the likes of Ace Hardware, Grassi Manufacturing,
Garden Tractor,
American Ag Credit, Garden Tractor. A big, really amazing local sponsor we have is Hogan Manufacturing. They're the local manufacturing company in our hometown. They donated just over $17,000 for our shop to help us buy equipment. That was just this last fall.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we have great community support.
Awesome.
Yeah, we could not do what we do without the community.
That's huge. Wonderful. And then you just mentioned that you have a spring fundraiser. Do we want to let's talk about that event. When is it? Where is it?
It's our spring banquet. It's not exactly a fundraiser. It's more of a celebration like we were talking about.
Okay.
We fundraise primarily in the fall and the winter, and spring we're so busy with contests that we don't fundraise anymore.
We're celebrating.
Yes. So we do have a couple sponsors who will help chip in some money to help pay for the contest, but we've already done the fundraising for that. But the spring banquet is our awards banquet. So we do charge for the dinner tickets, but we break even on that. We give all the kids a really nice dinner. We spend a lot of money on awards, but something that's important to us. We have 300 students, and any student who shows up to that banquet should be awarded for something they've done.
Oh, that's
right,
awesome.
and
That's wonderful.
Many of them are deserving of these awards.
How many will go to the banquet?
The numbers kind of fluctuate. It's kind of a set. We encourage most of our members to attend because, even as a freshman, even if you didn't really participate in anything, you will still be earning your chapter or your green hand degree. And so by attending that banquet, you will be receiving a pin similar to these ones that you can pin on your FFA jacket.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what does that particular pin mean?
This is just the freshman green hand degree. That means that you've completed 1 year in the FFA.
Okay.
And this year I'll be receiving my chapter degree since I'm the only sophomore here. The requirements are pretty much met. There's not too many for the chapter degree, but once you get to the junior, senior level, there's more difficult opportunities like the state degree and the American degree.
Which I believe Scott has.
Yeah, I have the state. I don't have it on right now because the pin broke, so I keep it in a baggie. But you know, the requirements for this the state degree is you have to have. We have extracurriculars projects known as a supervised agricultural experience. And so whether that's anything, you know, from an internship or raising an animal at fair or, you know, a job that you go to or a potentially even a business that you start up relating to any agricultural topic, you have to productively earn and invest $1,000 into your projects over the course of, you know, 2 or 3 years. And you have to put in about 500 hours of working with your supervised agricultural experience. And, you know, you have to pass a parliamentary procedure test. You have to do a number of other things. You have to have attended a certain number of, you know, activities, whether that be at the chapter level or even above. You have to have attended a certain number of non-FFA school activities. And so they compile all this in a report, and then in the spring, it gets judged by the state degree score, the scores, and in order to earn it, you have to pass the scorecard test with a 70% score or above, having met all the requirements.
Wow, that's a lot of work, a lot of effort, time, and financial commitment as well. Going back to, we were talking earlier about college applications. How much impact do you think it has on someone's college application if they show that they were actively involved in FFA?
Well, I can speak on a personal level about this. I was a member in FFA when I was in high school, from Orville, California, Las Plumas FFA. Go Thunderbirds. Yeah. Right? Now, I didn't intend on going to college. I didn't in high school. It wasn't until I was a senior and, you know, most college applications had already been sent out that my teacher pulled me aside and asked, Kenny, what are you going to do with your life? And I was a highly active member in FFA, but I grew up in a farming family, so I figured I would farm. Never even thought about college. No one in my family went to college. My teacher pulled me aside and said, Kenny, you know, you should really think about being a teacher. You're really good around kids. You should consider it. And, you know, I thought about it for a little while. Thought, man, it's late. It's so late. It's so late to apply. Then I had the opportunity to apply for an internship, a farm internship as part of Modesto Junior College's school farm. Oh, wow. And a big part of the reason they accepted my application was because I was an FFA member, right? And I was a highly active FFA member. I would say that being a highly active FFA member, not just being a member, but going to career development events, leadership development events, doing community service, getting state degree awards, things like that, those have a huge impact on your college resume, for your scholarship resumes, all of those things.
Yeah, I know as a senior applying for scholarships, you know, they always look at it and, you know, they always want, you know, community service, and they always want leadership and, like, good public speaking skills. And we already have that from being in the FFA and being an officer and being a leader. They really know that we've put in the effort into FFA, and those scholarship applications just really light up with all the community service you've done, all the leadership opportunities that you've gone to, and all the different colleges that you've toured. It's really just something that really just adds something to my scholarship and to my applications to college. So.
Awesome. And are all of you officers? I saw you have the president, and you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
We 3 are officers, and Alayna is a committee chair. So.
Okay. Wonderful. Excellent. So, as officers or chairing a committee, how much more of a time commitment would you say there is compared to someone that's just a member for FFA?
I definitely would say that I'm in my uniform at least once a week, but I don't mind it very much.
You look pretty happy.
Being a leader, you really just get to affect somebody's life the same way that my life was affected by FFA, and I really just love that. You really do spend at least 2 or 3 hours more in the ag department per week because there's just so much to do, so many events to plan. But we really enjoy it because we're surrounded by amazing advisors who encourage us to do these things, and by FFA members who are just so proud to wear their jackets and to go to these events. So it means a lot to be a leader.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a time commitment. It involves right now we're meeting once a week. Wednesdays we're practicing our lines for banquet, and so that's started up just now. But if you're on a CDE team, your coach will most likely encourage weekly practices at lunch. officers, we have to be there generally an hour before the meetings start to get everything set up in the cafeteria, get everything ready to roll. That way we're ready to roll by the promised 6 o'clock time or 3:30 time, whatever we've promised to the members. So it definitely is a time commitment, especially if you are more involved not only in the officer, but also maybe CDE or LDE teams. You may be, hanging out after school or during lunch or even before school or on the weekends even. To practice those skills and hone on in those skills, because at Escalon our goal is to go there and we like to win. We have seen that with our agronomy, our pest teams, lots of our speaking events, lots of our other CDE teams, and so we go there to hopefully win, and we have a very ferocious appetite for winning, and so that involves a lot of extra time on behalf of our members that are not only officers but also just regular members in the chapter.
But it's amazing to see how all of your hard work that you put into something, like when you put into a CDE team or an LDE competition, you get that back. We usually hear Escalon's name being called at award ceremonies, which is always just so amazing because, 2-hour practices once a week, or, going in every day at lunch to practice your speech or to be able to give reasons. Sometimes it's very draining, but then to, get a ribbon or get, at banquet we get awards and we get recognized for what we do. It's definitely something that always sticks with us because we know that what we put in, we're going to get back out. So it's just
creating
really
a
amazing.
legacy.
Yeah.
And for all of you, what does it mean for you, and I know some of you are seniors now, to have worked with students that are in classes below you and see how you're helping them to grow and become the best that they can be?
Well, for me personally, a lot of, the lower classmen, for some reason, they treat me like some sort of god or something. They're always, saying hi. I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't know if it's because, they're familiar with my little brother, but for some reason, they look up to me. So being kind of that role model in their life, being, encouraging them to join CDE teams or donate or participate in something, even though it takes a little maybe coercing it sometimes even, but it's it's all love. It's all we can speak on behalf of the experiences we've had, and noting that it's better for them, it'll help them in the long run. And so it's definitely a challenge sometimes, but it's definitely rewarding when you get them to hey, that person participated in this and they actually did really well. It's really gratifying to see that.
And how about for you?
I know for me personally, when I attended my first FFA meeting my freshman year, and seeing our president there, really connecting with everyone was really something that was like, wow, I want to do that. So, being an officer this year and being able to connect with my members has been something that has means so much to me. Being a Floral 3, I'm able to help out with all of the Floral 1s and show them, the skills that I have learned. And so being able to see them, make a product that is truly amazing and being able to say that I helped with that and I taught them some of the skills that they have learned is just something that's so awesome to me.
Awesome. How about for you?
Yeah, and as a senior, you always take a couple of kids under your wing, make sure that they're getting very involved because you know that it's for their best. Coming back to either CDE teams or as like a second year on a team, they always ask you questions about like how to grow, and you really just get to tell them your little secrets because graduating next year, you don't get to keep like how I memorize certain things to myself. So it's definitely just an amazing thing to see somebody grow through this program as you did and affecting change, how like just by being an officer, being a leader, and by going out of your way and trying to make a connection with kids that probably wouldn't have been very active, but making them feel at home in the FFA just really makes them want to grow and makes them want to, join teams and become a leader, and that's just something that is very important in the FFA.
Awesome. How about for you?
Well, I'm not a senior like these three, but
but you're a sophomore.
I'm only a sophomore, but when I walk into
you're
Miss
going to be a
Leventin,
junior though, very
soon. Walking into classrooms where it's just like only freshmen, I just get to I announce things sometimes like, hey, applications for this are due next week, making sure that they're on top of their applications and everything through the FFA. Well, being able to delegate stuff to them and say, hey, and just putting them on track is it benefits me personally. And not only just getting them on track is benefiting them, but it's also benefiting me because I'm getting those leadership skills. I'm learning how to delegate work, and I'm learning how to work with people and help with other people around me. And not only that, but I'm applying to be an officer too. So being in a leadership position hopefully will increase those skills as well.
Awesome. Good for you. Excellent. And coming back to you, Kenny, do all schools in our county offer FFA?
Most do.
I'm not sure about that, to be honest.
Okay.
I know most of the rural schools do, and some inner city schools do, but I wouldn't be confident to say every single school offers. There are, I don't know how many kids, high school kids there are in the state of California, but we have 89,000 members in the state of California alone. However, this county is a highly active county, right? We have a lot of agriculture in this area, but I can't speak about the specific numbers.
All right, and you may not know the answer to this, but let's say that one of your friends that you happen to know goes to a school where there's not FFA. What can they do?
Well, I do know the answer to this, but...
I personally have a friend that cannot join FFA because their school doesn't offer it here in Stockton. But they join the FFA and they show through the... No, not the FFA, the 4-H. They show through the 4-H because you can do that a senior in high school. Mm-hmm. And that's mostly showing as a senior is mostly for 4-H kids who don't have FFA opportunities. So we do have other opportunities for them. And they'll still be able to get scholarships for things like that. So just not being in the FFA, if you don't have that, if you don't have that opportunity, there are things that can help you, like 4-H, and just help you grow. Because there are also leadership development events or career development events in 4-H, like livestock judging.
Okay.
So if you're a senior and you want to judge livestock, but you don't have FFA, you can do that through the 4-H.
Okay, awesome.
So there are opportunities.
I will speak about this and say that if you're a student or you're a parent who wants an FFA program, right, and there is not an FFA program offered at your local schools, you should go to school board meetings and advocate for these things, right? If you're a believer in hands-on education, right, it doesn't take much to create an FFA program. It just takes a school board or a high school willing to put in the effort, hire a teacher, and charter a program. There are new programs that are added every single year. Right?
Awesome. That's encouraging.
California FFA is a growing organization. We grow every single year, more and more students, more charters every year. And I will say that, if you feel like your school can't have an FFA program because there's not agriculture in your area, there is lots of inner city schools that have FFA programs. They just do things a little bit differently. I taught at a high school last year while I was doing my student teaching at a inner city school. Very urban population. However, they still offered an FFA program. They still had CDE events. They just had to have a school farm that was off campus rather than on campus. They had to get support through their, they really needed a lot of support through local businesses and through the school board and local community members to create that program and to keep it going. Right? But it's entirely possible to do things in an inner city school.
Awesome. That's encouraging, and especially to hear you say that every year FFA is growing, especially since the face of FFA has changed so much that it's not just agriculture. Let's just go now around the table and see, as we're closing, if there's any final things that you'd like to say about FFA.
Well, I think that, being an FFA member, it's, completely changed who I am. And, I used to be, shy little freshman, and now everyone can say, I'm outgoing, I'm fun, I'm confident, in my abilities. So it's completely changed me. I think that's what's important these days, especially since, we're now facing the issue, with, expected doubling of population by 2050 in the world. We have to have, more of an agricultural base, especially since, farmlands are shrinking day by day. And so it's important that we, get people who understand the struggles and what we need to do. And, new technologies are coming out every year, making, farms and producers more efficient. But still, we need to have that attitude that, we need farming. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be important to, society. And so I think FFA really helps put a dent in that challenge, getting people out there who not only advocate for agriculture, but also can make a positive difference in their life and the lives of possibly even the world one day.
Awesome. Very well stated. How about for you?
One of the biggest things I think that FFA is really good at is building your confidence. Being a first year in floral, I didn't really have the confidence that I probably should have. Going in and giving reasons to people who are very excellent in their field and, having to use vocab that I had never used before, I have gotten a lot more confident in myself, and going to various public speaking events, being here, it really builds your confidence, and it really allows you to do different things that you never thought you could. My freshman year I was not a big public speaker, and now I love getting up in front of crowds, and I love being able to answer various questions, and just being able to be on the spot. It's really just, it's amazing.
Awesome, good job.
I think one thing that people they don't want to join FFA is because they think it's all about agriculture and that you have to be going into an agriculture industry after high school, and that's not necessarily true. I am a leader of the FFA, I'm an officer of the FFA, and I'm not going into agriculture after school, not because it's not something that I'm passionate about, it's just not something that I could see myself doing in the future, and that's something that the FFA has definitely taught me, is that when you're passionate about something, is you go for it, and they really taught me how to be dedicated to something and how to be hardworking towards a goal. And even though I'm not going into agriculture, I will always have a passion for it. I will always be an advocate for agriculture, but I'm going as a math major, and that's just something that they taught me to be passionate about because they knew that it was something that hit home to me, and that was really important to me.
Awesome.
For me, one thing about the FFA that I would have to say is it helps, not argument skills exactly, but like being able to really defend a point and respectfully give your opinion, and also listen to other people's opinion and respect that, and listen to where people are coming from. It really does help with like your patience skills and just being able to like have a conversation with people that you normally wouldn't, like people from a field that you typically wouldn't like talk to. Going out of your comfort zone and being able to talk to them and not convince them, but just like argue your point. Not argue, but just get your point across about agriculture and how you feel, because there are a lot of misconceptions about agriculture, and so just being able to like defend points and like dismiss some points that aren't true, just being able to like respectfully talk about that with other people, that's one thing the FFA offers.
Awesome. And I really like two things that you said, two words that you used, respect and listen. And to me, if any of you or all of you have developed those skills, that's going to carry you so far. And our society, is changing, and it's not always a positive environment, but if you can get your opinion across but still respect the other person and listen to them, that will get you so far in being able to accomplish so much. So that's wonderful. All right, and any final comments from you?
My final comment, if you're a parent out there listening that has a student that's going to high school or in high school, or if you're a high school student listening, I encourage you to join your local FFA chapter if you can, if it's available to you. Right? I think a common misconception, like Megan was saying about FFA, it's all about cows and plows. Right? It's very cows and plows. That's my favorite term. And it's very insular, right? And I can tell you as a minority and as someone who went through FFA, right, that is not the truth. While obviously there is a inflection towards agriculture, it's about learning with your hands. It's about leadership. It's about speaking skills. It's about a lot of valuable skills that you're going to learn that you're going to carry on in life. The majority of active members in FFA, and granted, California is the largest state when it comes to FFA. We have the most students. And the majority of active members are women. There are large groups of minority students. Right? I can speak to this as a teacher. I go to these weekend events, these career development events, and while they're all competing, we're just sitting, all the teachers are sitting around, we're just talking, right? And I see lots of faces of color. We see lots of minority groups. We see students of all genders, of all sexualities, of all religions, races, and so on and so forth, right? And we can be prouder of these students, right? So don't look at FFA as this insular group. It is not.
That's awesome. And so basically you're saying it's not your grandfather's FFA.
No.
And that's awesome to hear. I was surprised when you said that it's mostly women. That's exciting to me. It doesn't surprise me that California, of all the states, has the biggest representation with FFA. But I really want to thank all of you for coming out. It's really exciting and motivating to hear all of you speak, to hear you share your stories about how you've grown and what FFA has done for you, and just to see that you all have goals where you want to make things better for others. It's amazing. It's really exciting and encouraging. And it's wonderful to hear that FFA is growing as well. And all of the skills that you're gaining, and it's not just farming related, that someone that wants to go into a field with math can be in FFA and excel in FFA is wonderful. So I want to thank you all for being here today. You guys are all winners. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I am the voice of San Joaquin. You are the voice of San Joaquin. We are the voice of San Joaquin. Let's make it a great day.